So a pension scam is when someone encourages you to transfer your pension to another scheme which may not necessarily exist, or potentially another scheme which is going to charge you a lot of money and ultimately not in your best interests. UK expats are particularly prone to these scams because when you move outside of the UK, you no longer fall under protection of the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, but also the FSCS, which is a Financial Services Compensation Scheme. So as an expat, you need to be particularly careful because there's certain regulatory bodies which will no longer apply to you. So in most scenarios, a pension scam will start with a cold call perhaps, or a cold email or a message on LinkedIn from someone you've never heard of, encouraging you to transfer your pension potentially overseas to another scheme, whether it's Malta, Guernsey or the Isle of Man, and promising you high rewards without explaining everything fully to you. So it's really important that you try not to engage with people that contact you out the blue, people that you hadn't heard of, and companies that you hadn't heard of. They'll then say, if you sign these forms, we can get you a better return, we can get you more tax efficiency and so on. So if something sounds too good to be true and it doesn't check out online, be very cautious. So in terms of red flags, there are lots of them, but there are some that we see more and more often than the rest. So the first one, obviously, which we've already covered, is cold calling. Now, cold calling in the UK to discuss someone's pension with them is actually illegal. Outside of the UK, the rules are slightly different. So again, it comes back to why expats are particularly prone to these scams, because a lot of the time they're contacted out of the blue, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's an email or a cold call. So that's the first thing you need to be aware of. Another red flag is not understanding the charging structure. So if someone's giving you a proposal and it doesn't make sense, or you see the words early surrender penalty or exit penalties or lock-ins, generally that implies a very large commission is being charged and being paid to the advisor. So immediately you know that this advisor is not acting in your best interest because they're being paid to sell you a product which might not necessarily fit you. Another red flag is high pressure sales tactics. So if you're getting constant emails and phone calls saying that you need to move now and you need to move fast, almost always this is going to be a scam, or at least an advisor acting unethically. There's no reason you should ever rush a UK pension transfer. A UK pension is a large amount of money which you've built up for your retirement, and you need to treat it accordingly. So take your time, speak with lots of advisors, and do not fall for any high pressure sales tactics, because it's a surefire sign that they're not acting in your best interests. Another common red flag is guaranteed returns. So with investments and with pensions, you cannot guarantee anyone returns. It doesn't exist. Even in short-term money market accounts, if you're getting a deposit rate, for example, there are still risks involved. There's default risks. What if the credit institution goes bust? What if interest rates change? So the idea of guaranteeing investment returns is just nonsensical. And if you hear this mentioned, alarm bells should be ringing, because it means that someone's telling you something that isn't true, as someone who's supposed to be acting in your best interests. A final red flag, which again is fairly common, is offering benefits for transferring. So whether this is a finder's fee or a loyalty bonus or anything like this, if someone's offering you an incentive to move your money, that's a pretty good sign that they're not acting in interest, and it's a pretty good sign that you're probably being exposed to a scam. So anyone who mentions an incentive for transferring across, firstly, it's not allowed in the UK. Secondly, it's unethical. Thirdly, it implies that they're getting paid a lot of money for transferring your pension, or perhaps moving your pension to something that doesn't even exist in the first place.